Sweet mother of mercy, your Denver Broncos just land the perfect closing shot to a near-perfect offseason with this signing of Nik Bonitto. We've got to get into why it's even better deal than you probably thought it was. We got more pandemonium happening across the AFC West, and we are just in a perfect position for a deep playoff run with the Denver Broncos. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben, and it helps me in the algorithm out a ton. If you like the Broncos, would you smash that like and subscribe button? So yesterday, I had heard from a very, very plugged-in birdie the exact details of this deal. I heard it a full 24 hours before it happened, and I heard that, like, hey, this deal is already done, and it was the exact details, the exact amount that Bonitto signed for. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking about that one time Cecil Lammey went out and said Gronkowski was trying out for the Denver Broncos, and I was like, oh, man, if I come out and say he re-signs it and drop the dollar amount, I'm going to look like such an idiot. I'll never be able to get on here again. I've learned my lesson. Next time, I'll just be Adam Schefter and come out with it. But Broncos got an absolute hometown discount for Nik Bonitto. Like, this thing is going to age like a Capri Sun. It is going to taste better the longer you leave it on your counter, boys and girls. Like, this is crazy that you get Nik Bonitto, who was in the running last year to be the defensive player of the year, and you locked him up for $26.5 million in guarantees with escalators up to 30. So if he does what we expect and he balls out of control, you pay him 30, which is a fraction of what the Green Bay Packers are paying Micah Parsons. It's a fraction of what TJ Watt is being paid. We're going to get into all the contractual details of it, but you're just seeing Nik Bonitto now put this behind him, knowing he is playing as a free man now. Like, he doesn't have to worry about anything. He got his money, and he just retweeted the news dropping and said, let's go win this championship. You see unanimous praise from so many of his teammates, like retweeting this and saying, let's go, you well-deserved, time to go win this championship. I think this is good on so many fronts. Obviously, we're going to talk about the player Nik Bonitto is, why he's deserving of way more, why he's probably deserving of way closer to a Micah Parsons contract than what he just signed with the Denver Broncos. But so we'll get to Nik Bonitto, the player, and why he deserves way more money than he got. But I love this point by Carmelini here. He's a friend of the show, friend of me, and he talks about, like, hey, this is proving that the Denver Broncos take care of their own players. And you take a look at, like, how would you feel if you were a Cincinnati Bengal player and you saw how they treated Trey Hendrickson? How would you feel if you were a Dallas Cowboys player and you saw how they treated Micah Parsons? How would you feel even if you were on the Kansas City Chiefs and see McDuffie getting to the end of his contract and being like, we'll deal with you next year? We've seen holdouts, hold-ins. We've seen, like, I'm trying to trade me now. I don't want to be here anymore, like with the Raiders and Jacoby Myers. The Broncos handled this thing so perfectly. It's hard to not just, like, be patting ourselves on the back, even though we had nothing to do with it. It is all our ownership group, and you're seeing unanimous praise, even by beat reporters who get their money by, like, farming out negativity. They're still saying, like, we are seeing quick work, and you just see such chemistry with our ownership and our coaching and our front office, and we are clicking on all cylinders, and it really is the basis of what makes a Super Bowl contending team. When you talk about Nik Bonitto, the player, you cannot help but just the first thing that jumps off of the screen is that his release is one of the quickest releases in football. From the second that ball is snapped, he is already making his move, and he's got this bendiness to his game that is unreal, and it is unblockable. You see as one of the fastest get-offs in sports at 0.76 seconds, and that he was one of the leaders. He was one of the league leaders last year when it comes to actual pressures on the quarterback with 54. We're just starting to see his ceiling. Like, he is, you know, he wasn't even a starter at this time last season, and now he's got the bag. So the Broncos, brilliant move here. You take a look. Obviously, I don't need to remind all of you that Nik Bonitto was third last year when it comes to sacks, and that he was one of the only guys in this conversation who had both a fumble recovery for a touchdown and an interception return for a touchdown. We remember this preseason game against the San Francisco 49ers where Nik Bonitto single-handedly ruined a drive, and don't take our word for it. What did Kyle Shanahan say about him?
I mean, he did ruin that whole series.
Yeah, he ruins entire series of football, and he is just the part of this platoon of outside edge rushers. Like, we hadn't had a 10-sack edge rusher since Chubb, and he blows past 10 sacks and ends up with 13.5 last season. And again, he is still learning. He's 25 years old. Like, he's the same age as Bo Nix. There are rookies in the league right now who are the same age as Nik Bonitto. We've seen him bulk up, training with an incredible amount of passion and excitement, and this is going to be incredible. So I don't need to tell you, but there's no better feeling than waking up on a fall Sunday morning and knowing you have an entire day ahead of you of just watching professional football. But what if I told you you could watch every single game? Well, that's why I'm so thrilled, because thanks to the sponsor of today's video, DraftKings Sportsbook, we have the actual ultimate package to get you ready for the football season. So check this out. Right now, the DraftKings Sportsbook app deal is absolutely phenomenal. Right now, new customers who sign up and bet $5 not only get $300 in bonus bets, which is a wild, wild offer, they also get $200 off of the NFL Sunday Ticket with YouTube and YouTube TV, which is going to let you watch every game. But the only way you can get it is if you use my promo code STDenver. Just think about it. You are set with these incredible bonus bets, and then on top of that, you get $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use my promo code STDenver to get $300 in bonus bets, $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket. Have an amazing season, and as always, please gamble responsibly. How just incredible was this offseason for our ownership group? It was wild. You see our new captain, Talanoa Hufanga, that the 49ers wanted back. We see Dre Greenlaw. You get Shanahan and Lynch flying out to go get him. Evan Ingram, who Harbaugh wanted, chose us. J.K. Dobbins, the top running back in our entire division last season. You see Jahdae Barron, who is a top 10 draft pick, who somehow falls to us. You see R.J. Harvey, and everyone and their fantasy-loving mom is coming out and saying, like, ooh, that might have been the steal of the draft. Pat Bryant, same thing. And then to have three guys who are all in contract years say nothing negative about the Denver Broncos, just talk about the amount of trust there is between ownership and between the players. It is crazy. This is unnormal. We are an uncommon team, and uncommon teams end up finding themselves deep in the month of January still playing meaningful football. And again, don't take my word for it. What does Adam Schefter say? Just crazy to hear the amount of flowers given to our ownership group and what this team is building. It's why we're going to be good this year, and we're going to be good from now on. It is the perfect time to jump back on this Broncos bandwagon. If you jumped off during our playoff drought, you're going to want to hop back on and hop back on now. So what does Adam Schefter have to say about our ownership group? Obviously, the richest ownership group in the NFL and some of the richest owners in all of professional sports who've just absolute brilliant. We heard George Payton say Greg Penner is the smartest man in any room that he walks into, and we're seeing what the result of that is.
Make their mark, and they are going to be around a long time, and they are going to be amongst the best owners in
just the best owners in the NFL, Adam Schefter?
Not only in just football, but in all of sports.
So again, unbiased source here, just saying watch out for what these guys are building. It is crazy to see how they navigated this. Part of being able to get a bunch of players like this to this contract without the hubbub is having deep enough pockets that you can throw all of the money in escrow. So when you re-sign somebody to a deal like this, you have to have all of that money up front. There just aren't a ton of owners who have that. And so the Denver Broncos have put just in this past year, have put almost $500 million in escrow accounts to go out and pay these different players. And that is why they signed this deal. And the fact that they're getting ahead of it right now, if Nik Bonitto does what we think he's going to do, and he has another season just like he had last season, if all he has next season is 13 sacks, which I think is going to happen, you were talking about a guy who needs $40 million a year, and that might be a bargain because we saw Micah Parsons get 47 a year for less sacks than Bonitto. So just absolutely crazy there. Loved reading everything that DNVR has been putting out about this, seeing, originally they thought the Micah Parsons was going to get 45 a year. We figured out it ends up being 47 a year, and Bonitto's deal is a little bit bigger as well. But basically, he's getting paid half of what Micah Parsons does, and I think he is as good as Micah Parsons is. On a per game basis, he needs way less epidurals than Micah Parsons does. So that is a lock for a great deal. And again, just seeing here, you're putting him, he is in the top 10, and we know he was top 3 last year in sacks. So you're paying him as a top 10 guy, even though he's a top 3 guy. That is just a phenomenal deal here. And then Zach Sagers points out a great point here that he still has this rookie contract left to play out. And so his base deal that we're paying him is even better than we thought. So there's no other way to say this other than this was highway robbery. This was a steal. This was a kill shot for an already phenomenal offseason for your Denver Broncos. that he's making $20.5 million less per year than Micah Parsons, even though he had 1.5 more sacks. He had more fumble recoveries for touchdowns. Guys, this is muy bonito for Nik Bonitto. This is just phenomenal. And again, seeing even other guys who want their deals like John Franklin Myers being the first to pat him on the back is a testament to the culture this Broncos team has built. And you don't think, if you want proof that this is a hometown discount, here's what my main man, Graphic Raider, who helped me break this news, he's the one who connected me to the source who had intimate details on it. Here's what he has to say about Nik Bonitto signing this deal and what it means.
Next time we see Ben, he'll be happy. Nik Bonitto signing a 4-year deal, over $100 million. It's coming. It's coming. And I'm waiting on Ben.
That money.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Ben to upload that video. I know he's kind of nervous until it's actually official. Don't have me do the video first, Ben.
Well, you'll get the credit. Let's just make it happen, bro.
I'm just messing around. And, hey, and once again, deserved. Nik Bonitto is a dog.
I wish they gave him $50 million a year. I can't believe they didn't.
Hey, look, man. Hey, for him to take that kind of deal to stay there says a lot about what he believes, that he believes in the program. He believes in what they got going on. So, that's going to be what's a steal now? It's going to be a steal in the next. You're going to have to revamp that deal in another 2 years, right? Like,
yeah, if I was him, I wouldn't sign it just based off why would you? You play, because I'm not saying that listen, he's a great player. I think last year was the one-off, and I'm not saying he's going to go to being a 2-sack guy, but he might not get, 13 sacks
13
again?
And a half, yeah. And I can't give Graphic Raider love without also just dunking on the Raiders and how bad they're going to be. So there's a lot of folks hyped up about the fact that the Vegas Raiders went out and got Amari Cooper. They're like, oh, look the other way. Don't pay any attention to the fact that our best wide receiver is asking for a trade and we're not going to give it to him because we don't even have to worry because we got Amari Cooper. Well, Amari Cooper goes through one practice with Geno Smith, and he's like, yeah, we're done here. And Amari Cooper retires today. So a absolute fantastic close to the Denver Broncos offseason. Football starts tonight, but the Denver Broncos have the future edge rusher that is going to take this league by storm. He already was in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation as a third-year player, and we have just started to scratch the floor on what Nik Bonitto is going to do. We led the league last year in sacks with Nik Bonitto in the lead of that. Just watch what he does now with this new deal, playing loose and free. We have the best owners in sports. We have a franchise quarterback in Bo Nix. And y'all, we got so much to Bo-LIEVE in.